6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Otis, you crazy mother.
Yo, what up?
What's going on?
Sage, you can hear me, right?
You're clear.
It's Sage the Mock. What's up, fellas?
What's
Nothing
happening?
much, man. Nothing much, man. We have a special guest with us here. This is special guest number 2, by the way. We have. Go ahead. You know what? You could tell them your name. You could tell the public your name.
I'm still walking around the handle, guys. I was sitting on Hillbilly Drew for a while, but I don't know. It didn't feel right. Just use the name. Just use the name. You know the name, and we'll be good for a while till something better comes along.
What would be a good name? You know what you should have? Maybe you should have you have 2 choices. You could pick. What if you went with Drew the Butcher, just because of your lineage?
The
Or if you-
lineage.
Or if you went with what's a good jobber name? Because I mean we'll get into it in a minute. But what's a typical jobber name? Because they're obviously bringing back jobbers. So and you ever notice I'm talking jobbers on Monday Night Raw, just put somebody over. You ever notice that they'll announce some jobber name here's Jake Ellis, and they're like,
Well, Goose, here's the thing. They use their real name.
oh, are you serious? They do.
They're coming out saying the real name. They say the hometown, and they used to say these guys are up and comers before they get murdered. And that I'm not about that. I'm not about that life. All right.
I would love it because I never even realized that, and it makes total sense. Because if you go in and they're and then they give the generic pose because they can't take away anything at all from the other wrestler that they're actually fighting. So it's from San Antonio, Benjamin Goosen.
Well, so and I'll attest to that because, like I said, I've been disconnected from the current product for a little bit. I've been living that cut cord life for a minute, and I've been watching a lot of 90s Raws. So I mean, no theme music. That dude's out there. I mean, I'm seeing the Hardy Boys in 1996, and on the pant legs it says Matt, and on the other pant leg it says Jeff. And I mean, look where they are now. But I'm just saying, I don't want to get put in a squash right here and then forgotten about. All right, so we're gonna go.
Off as jobbers.
Well, yeah, they did, but we're gonna go with a garbage gimmick. So today we're gonna go with Hillbilly Drew because
All right.
when you talk about the lineage, I got some white trash. So I feel like Hillbilly Drew is gonna work for now. We're just gonna run with it. Next time it might be something different. We'll see.
I like it. So Texas has HBK and HBD.
Oh man.
I'm digging it.
Well,
How you doing out there, Sage? You doing all right?
Oh man, after this week, I'm ecstatic, bruh. But not to brag or anything, the shirt says it all. Although I am a little upset that my boy didn't come through in San Antonio. So but I can't. It's not all lost. We found some people at the event that were Ty Dillinger fans, which was great. And plus, we posted online, and Ty actually retweeted us, which was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did.
And so I marked out as always, man. I'm like, yo, Ty Dillinger, pay attention to me. I love it, man. So shout out to Ty Dillinger, man. Next time NXT comes through San Antonio, please make this yo stop, bruh.
He was there in 2015. I can't remember who he wrestled, but he was definitely there. He probably won. Memory's a little fuzzy, but I don't know. Maybe he just didn't like you guys. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. The other reason he didn't come back.
I mean, probably so. I mean, we were all up in the tip-top row shouting obscenities. I mean, what was he gonna do?
Yeah. So one thing I thought we should kind of chime in on is, yeah, sounds pretty cliche, but the state of wrestling.
Yeah.
So we had a busy week, because you figure Sunday was Battleground, Monday New Era Raw, Tuesday SmackDown Live, Thursday we all went to, or Wednesday NXT in the Cruiserweight tournament, and then Thursday we all went to NXT. So just raw thoughts. Give me your raw thoughts. New show, new era, new a lot of things. So just give me your raw thoughts.
So I absolutely thought Raw dominated the week. They came out swinging. The one thing that I caught off the back was like the camera angles were perfect, like coming in and out of the ring, on top, panning out. That was pretty amazing. It actually, and then the announcers are towards the entrance. I like that as opposed to them at ringside. So it had that old school WCW feel to it. I thought that was amazing. It was probably one of my best types of formats ever, calling back to the Nitro days. The jobbers were amazing, which I know we're going to talk about here in a bit. So I love the jobbers. So the feel of it, we got a new champ, so we got a title change there.
What do you like about the jobbers?
Oh man, the jobbers have so you've got your local. You've got the potential for your local jobbers that we'll probably see 10, 15 years from now. And then you got your special case jobbers like, I forgot the dude's name, but even his name sounded jobberish. Was it Elsbeth or Ellsworth?
Yeah.
Something Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have a chin, I can tell you that.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what the hell happened to his chin.
Yeah, definitely didn't have a chin, but yeah, like dude was amazing, bro. The screen caps on that was just amazing. The hand up while Strowman was just killing him. That was just amazing. I hope they sign that dude like they do the Brooklyn Brawler. You know, I'd love to see something like that. He's dentist by day, wrestler by night. That was pretty awesome. What about you, Drew? What'd you think?
So, catching up a lot of stuff. Been kind of out of touch with the current product for a while.
So tell us about that 96 Nitro, bro.
Yeah. Tell me what happened.
Let me tell you
July
something.
20th Raw, 2002.
Let me tell you something, Sage. Let me tell you something, Goose. If you want a question answered about the product in '97 or '98, you know who to call. With the move and no cable, been hard to kind of keep up with all that. I did watch the draft. Felt that SmackDown got the short end of the stick. Tried to kind of look for a lot of the positives. What I was thinking was that some of the guys, I guess the way I was thinking, for example, a guy like Ziggler, who we know where he is now, but at the time is not really easy to get excited about because of where he was. I was having a conversation with another one of my buddies about some of the things that Raw had been doing, let's say 2012 to 2014. The word I used was like, damn it, I don't remember. My apologies, I've been drinking. It's like it's like a bad season, like an otherwise good show, but you got a bad season, and that bad season was like 2012 to 2014. But
That's a good way to put it.
like a victim of Stockholm syndrome, you find a way to sympathize with it, and in that you kind of pick out those little things that you want to like about it. The Sandow thing, the breakup of the Rhodes Scholars, going into the feud with Cody, going into obscurity, coming back out with the imitation gimmick, coming back out with the Mizdow, and then dropping off again and getting fired. But I use that point because it's like there are certain guys who have been for the last couple of years been beaten from a booking standpoint that and they've been there for a while, and you're hoping that they're going to get a new shot. Ziggler is the guy who has been the high potential, but he hasn't been put in a spot where he could really succeed. And I'm hoping that for something like SmackDown, like I said, the more I've thought about it, I'm hoping that it's going to kind of rejuvenate some of those older guys. That's the positive I took out of that. Haven't watched SmackDown yet, just read the dirt sheets or read the spoilers. It's all good. I did watch Raw on Hulu, so didn't see some of the stuff. I didn't see the Strowman squash. I saw the Nia Jax squash. I mean, I like that stuff.
So what do you think about the setup of Raw? Like, do you think that? Because to me, it felt different, and it almost seemed like they tried to go different. They used some different camera angles.
Well, so certainly the camera angles are right off the bat something you notice. I definitely they were using that kind of like that Steadicam Kubrick shot, like just like moving real smooth. I don't know if they were like, I don't know how they got. What's up?
What do you mean the Steadicam Kubrick shot?
So like there's a moving camera and it's just going slowly left to right.
Yes, I noticed that.
And that was a new shot because like it's there's some very distracting shots, like when well, let's say the last 5 years, distracting shots. Like I don't really have to explain myself, but I mean that was something new, yeah. And it kind of to me it made it feel more like a legitimate sporting event, just the way. Because you see though, like it's the type of camera angles you see, kind of those wide shots for like a football game.
Because you want to see all the action, and I think that it makes total sense that you look at like a Cowboys Patriots game or an old Tom Brady Peyton Manning game. When you see that, like you said in football, you see all the action first. You see all of the action from like a wide angle, and then once, I don't know, somebody catches the ball, whether it's Gronk or whoever else catches the ball, then it zooms in on them, and then they run their route or whatever and get tackled. But yeah, I thought it was cool. One camera angle that I liked specifically, and I just noticed it this week, maybe they've had it before, I don't know, was I don't know if it was on a crane or what, but they had a camera angle where it basically just zoomed and went through the crowd, so it almost gave you the feeling that you were in the crowd. And we've all been to wrestling events. We all went to wrestling events as kids, and as kids, when a wrestler comes out, you try to book it from your seat as fast as you can to the aisle, so you could see the wrestler up close. So it kind of gave that feeling like that I was running through the crowd to see this wrestler come out. That was one thing I thought was real cool. I definitely saw the moving camera angle a lot. I just thought overall it was, I mean, Raw, yeah, we both agreed definitely won, but did Raw, my question to you guys is, did Raw show their hand? Did they blow their load too early on that first week? And I completely get that it was a new era, new Raw, brand split, you needed to come out on fire. That's why you had the women's. To me, that's why they had the women's title change. It's because you needed to really show something go on. But have they peaked? Are they at this point just a deflated balloon going forward?
I don't think that they did. Certainly they're going to have issues still being a 3-hour format. Just because it's just too much, and you're gonna have they're gonna run risk of trying to throw out too many segments out there that don't mean anything. But having a smaller roster, hopefully they can be a little bit more focused. Um, the fact that they brought in a new title,
And the
um,
cruiserweights, yeah.
well, the fact that they brought in, I mean, first, like, let's right off the bat, they brought in their new top title, which when I read about it and whenever they announced it, um, to me, and let me know what you guys think, but to me, it kind of just sounded like when a little kid is having an argument with somebody, and it's just like, oh yeah, you're better than me. You're better than me times infinity. Well, I'm infinity
Yeah.
plus one. Like
Yeah.
that's like it's like you got the world championship, I got the universal championship. Like that, it. I guess for branding purposes, they call it the WWE Universe. So I could see it from that standpoint, but to me it's a bad name. Have they shown a design for it yet?
Not officially, but there has been some leaked
They
photos.
did have a design. No, yeah, there's an official design. If you go to Draymond Green's Snapchat, you could see the official design. You can see the specific design.
But you got to be over 18 to see it.
Yeah. No,
Because we ain't in the PG era anymore.
Oh, this is the new era.
yeah. Draymond Green is definitely making sure he shows you what the Universal title is going to look like.
Good Lord.
So I saw some leaked photos. I don't know how official it's, so don't quote me on it too much. But if this is the belt that they're going to be debuting, it's a gold metallic looking belt, but the most notable design is that it has the eagle back on it. So I don't know if it was fan art, if this was an actual leaked photo, but that's what it looks like. It looks kind of like it's paying homage to the old eagle belt, with a kind of not so much over the done WCW heavyweight belt. So the belt looks great. I'm like many other people. I don't think that the name suits the belt. Seems Warner Brotherish, Saturday morning cartoon type of thing. But we'll see. Maybe they'll make it work. So
Maybe we're going back to Saturday Morning Superstars.
or Velocity, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, this right here is Sunday Night Heat. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So overall, you thought Raw thoughts, Raw overall, good roster, good setup.
Yeah, I
And,
think they have a.
Hillbilly, I got some of your finger on the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
That finger better smell real good.
Hey, I mean, you said the handle. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect?
But yeah, Raw thoughts. I thought personally, I thought that it makes sense. Come on, like for any of the smarks out there, who said, "Hey, yeah, it was a pain that Raw is obviously the stacked show. They took all the talent, blah blah blah. The haters, shut up. So get over it. Raw's 3 hours. Raw's the popular show, and if you have a 3-hour show, you better have something to fill up 3 hours. When you think of wrestling, you think of Monday nights. So obviously, it's going to be a more stacked show, more stacked talent, and everything. And I think that since they have the women's title and the cruiserweights, I mean, think about it. Like the women's title and the women's they don't have the women's division, but the women's title and the cruiserweights, that alone right there can probably fill up 30 minutes to 45 minutes of TV if you include commercial breaks and all that good stuff. That's 30 to 45 minutes. And silly backstage promos and stuff like that. That's 30 to 45 minutes that are taken up on your 3-hour show, and it's only a piece of the puzzle. That's not that bad to me.
Well, speaking of backstage shows or backstage segments, I like the fact that they kept the talking to a bare minimum, and they kind of resorted to the like pre and post match commentary of the event. So when
I
the
love that.
superstar won or the superstar lost, they would get comments on there. None as funny as the Elsbeth the Elsbeth one, man. That one was freaking hilarious. With Saxton asking why the dude was getting in the ring with them, and then booking it right after it. So, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I think the format will change in terms of like how we'll see it once they introduce the cruiserweights into there. That'll probably take up the first hour. Then that with the women's, and then we'll have the mid card with the U.S. title, and then the heavyweight championship. So I think the 3-hour format will fit now with where they're going to go to in the future, so it won't feel as much as a time drag as long as they can keep the action to a maximum, the interactions, the backstage segments, or the opening segment to a minimum. I think you can make it work. Now, SmackDown, we still got some work to do. We still got a whole lot of questions.
Well, define that. What do you mean question? Like, I mean, because I think we've already talked about Raw, so define that. What do you mean you have questions? And
so the most notable question is, what are the women fighting for on SmackDown? There is no incentive other than storylines for the women. They've got a deep bench, but unless you're just going to be booking feuds left and right, it seems kind of pointless in my opinion. A lot of talent, but just like where do they go? Like how exactly are they going to interact with the women's title, or are we going to have a true like separated women's title?
But doesn't that draw you in as a fan?
I love it. Don't get me wrong.
The fear, well, not the fear, but just the unknown. Like, what are you girls fighting for? Are you going to get your own title? The Divas Universal title? Like, doesn't that make you tune in next week wondering, like, you know what? If Becky beats Natalya, what comes out of it? I got to find out.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, yes, but again, it's more questions than answers, right? We don't have a title for the women's. We don't have a title for the tag team. We have the Intercontinental title and we have a world title there. So there's really only 2 spots. It's kind of like saying, you know, I'm hiring people without the ability to be promoted.
Well, here's the question. What were they doing at the old brand split in terms of women wrestlers? Did they have a separation of the roster for the women for Raw and SmackDown years back?
No, but the champions were able to go in and out of the different products.
So they were going to show.
Yep.
Listen to Cheap Heat this week. They brought up a good point. You still have some people who are working their way to get back. Nikki Bella, for, you know, I don't think that it would be in their best interest to reintroduce a Divas Championship, but it is still it's a step back it's a step back in terms of name, and then in terms of how the product was at the time for the women.
Well, it's unique that it's only as far as we know, it's unique that maybe only the women's champion can hop back and forth between shows.
I mean, we don't know if that's what's going to happen though. I mean, what we know is that there are the same amount. Well, there's one new title for 2 shows now, so you still have less titles for either show. So if you got to have reasons that people are fighting for something. The show itself, either one, it's still entertainment, but it's also athletic contests. So I mean, you talk about the cruiserweights. I mean, they're not going to bring in a cruiserweight championship, are they? I mean,
but do you? I think they will. But do you really have to be fighting for something? Because wait, let me. Do you have to be fighting for a title to be fighting for something?
Well, I think that if you want to be kayfabe, like this is, you know, I'm a booker, and I set the matches in this wrestling show, and it's like I'm gonna give, you know, like if I were a booker who was working the crowd, I know that this is going to make money. These two people hate each other. I'm going to put these guys out there to fight. It's going to make money. But you have to put matches out there to fill the time. You got to put an athletic contest out there. I mean, it's like going to a basketball game. You got to have a halftime show. You know.
You got to have a championship.
Yeah, you got to, just as much as you got to have a championship, you got to have something in it to fill up time. I mean, 1997, 98, like, I'm watching matches with Taka Michinoku versus Pantera. Like, you know, to be fair, they were fighting for the light heavyweight championship. So I think.
So let me ask you this then. Let me go back a week. So if you guys are basically saying there's got to be some type of championship or some type of title implication for the matches to be super meaningful. So you're fighting for something. In your case, the light heavyweight championship or just championship or universal or whatever. Then why did Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn steal the show last week? They weren't fighting for a championship.
Well, no. What I was saying.
That's just one person, though. You can't.
Yeah, I mean if you're not fighting for something, or if you're not there just to exhibit that this is if you want to give the indication this is a sport, you want to put something out there because a couple of people hate each other, and it's a big money match. So, but what I'm getting at is like, just like anything, you need to fill the slot. You know, these are two athletes. They don't have anything to do with each other. I mean, put them out there because this is sort of a sport. I think that's some of the things that they have to do. I just feel bad because there's no end goal for a lot of the women on SmackDown, but I think that they'll find a way to figure it out. But I guess my follow-up is I think the indication is that it's the same creative team for both shows. How are they going to differentiate themselves?
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, and
Good point. Yeah.
just to kind of piggyback a bit, I don't think the women's title is going to be. I don't think the women's division is going to be floaters between both brands because they've made it pretty clear that these are two separate products, completely two separate products. So it wouldn't make any sense for a champion, whether it be tag team or the women's champion, to be jumping between brands if they're competing against each other and they're trying to keep separate. The only time that they'll ever interact, which will be very mildly, is going to be on those big pay-per-view events where it's all combined together, which we still don't know exactly how the pay-per-view structure is going to be going between the two brands going forward. You know, there is speculation that we're going to have a pay-per-view match like every 2 or 3 weeks. You know, so
God,
like I said,
with so much wrestling to watch.
Yeah,
Is that overkill? Is that overkill to you guys?
I got enough trouble watching non-wrestling shows.
But
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. If it's a Raw show every other at once, to me it's not that different. So you have wrestling pay-per-views once a month. What if every other week sounds a lot worse than once a month? Just because every other week sounds a little bit more demanding, a little bit more time-consuming. It's the sales pitch, right? Old sales pitch. So, like, you're only going to have one Raw pay-per-view a month, which is quote-unquote on the other cycle of every other week, and then one SmackDown pay-per-view. And now you have, to me, it gives legitimacy to the 4 or 5, whatever, the big 4, the SummerSlam, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. It gives legitimacy to those because, like, think about it. The Royal Rumble, you're going to have SmackDown and Raw superstars in there. SummerSlam, who knows what's going to – WrestleMania, I mean, that's, you know, whatever. It is its own thing. But SummerSlam, you're going to have, like, oh, wait a minute. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and say it. At SummerSlam, you're going to have AJ, Finn Balor, and Anderson and Gallows in the same building all at once. So you know they're probably going to have a backstage segment or something. So the every other week thing does bother me, especially because it's on demand on the network.
Yeah.
So if you want to fast forward through a couple matches, you can. It definitely seems like a lot of time for wrestling. But wrestling's argument is, all right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So every other Sunday's a lot of time. So who's your favorite basketball team, Goose? Oh, I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan. How many games do you watch a year? There's 82 games. I probably watch about 70, 75 Bulls games a year. Oh, really? So
Is
you
that? I
could
mean, you're not counting playoffs in there.
exactly. So I'm not counting playoffs
JK,
in
they
there.
ain't making the playoffs, son.
Oh, what are those? For the record, D Wade, Rondo, and Jimmy Butler are a very, very, very talented front three on the defensive end. But I digress. And that I should start up my own Chicago Bulls podcast. But I mean, that's wrestling's argument. Is like, wait a minute. You could watch sports. You could watch basketball. You could watch 70 games. Baseball's, I think, 162. Football it's only 16 weeks, but football is very time consuming during those 16 weeks because you play fantasy football as well. Like, if you could take up this amount of time, us having a show every other week's not that bad.
Oh man, it just Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, twice on Wednesday, and then if you're a TNA fan on Thursday, that's potentially 4 to 5 days out of the 7-day week dedicated to wrestling. I I love it. I mean, I love the fact that we get in so much wrestling, but I 3 or 4 months in, I don't know how committed people are going to be watching it because it's just always on.
Well,
So.
I think in argument of the sporting competition, people are able to watch a football game week after week because of the unpredictability. There is an aspect of unpredictability, and you have to keep that in the back of the audience's mind when you're working them for a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that's got to be on their mind because there's still the sports aspect of the sports entertainment that they have to do.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
So
100%.
I would hope, and I'm not talking like 90s aspect like title changing every week, and it's a fighting sport, so the big stuff is going to change on pay-per-view, but you still need to have something to bring people in and keep them watching for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I think they made a conscious effort to sort of differentiate these shows. As NXT still the pure wrestling. Raw is definitely the hot new ticket. SmackDown, I still gotta watch SmackDown, I admit, but they're definitely trying to do something different. But they still have to have that level of unpredictability, I think, to kind of bring people back in and kind of make it sort of magical again.
So on the SmackDown front, Sage, what did you think of SmackDown?
I loved SmackDown. The only thing I didn't like about SmackDown was I did not like at the end of the women's match, all of them coming out and cutting promos on each other.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No, you can't say that.
I'm sorry,
Where's the
man.
hang up button on this? So
I wasn't a fan of that, man. That was more. How does Michael Cole put it? Shades of Raw, classic Raw.
That there was 100%. No, if it's Michael Cole who said it's just vintage. Don't even.
Okay,
I don't even know what he says.
Shades of is Morrow. My bad, Morrow. I meant that's classic Raw.
That's vintage Raw. So and he'd probably even that's vintage Nitro. Ugh. He probably called it wrong anyways. But so I thought that was perfect because it showed you, oh wow, SmackDown's got these girls, and my girl came out last. This woman will be the biggest heel in professional wrestling history of all women ever. Old Eva Marie came out last.
Oh, man.
Oh my
and
God.
then she didn't cut a promo, she didn't talk, she didn't wrestle. But her entrance was like 5-10 times longer than everybody else's.
Oh yeah. With the Ric Flair robe.
She has everything.
Guys,
She's
All
beautiful.
red, everything.
you weren't there to witness it live. You weren't there in Austin, Texas in 2013 to witness Eva Marie, her first appearance in Ms. TV Live, and the train wreck. You just don't understand. Let me tell you something about that, because not only did it have the Eva Marie, but it also had a Bella Nipslip.
Continue, I'm listening.
No, it had it all. It had Eva just being mean to Jerry for no reason.
Oh, I remember that.
I mean, we were up in the crowd. We couldn't hear commentary, but Jerry was on the mic. He called her Ariel from Little Mermaid for some reason. I mean, it's obvious the reason he did, but I don't know.
Comes here with a fork.
The references are bad.
Our best friend is a seagull, for crying out loud.
It's a spork.
I mean, but like I said, when I cut out for years, I started watching wrestling again. Going to that show, that was the first Raw I'd been to, and I didn't really know what I was in for. Like, imagine the confusion for what was happening there. It's like getting a bunch of kindergartners to go and perform like interpretive dance. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, it just was an unorganized mess, and I was witness to it. I feel like I got a badge of honor for witnessing it live.
That's how I was at NXT last week. I was
Now she's the all-time heel. She's just, there's nothing she can do.
Nope.
Oh
She
yeah.
ain't got talk.
No, but I love it. She's definitely going to be one of the just anybody who could draw that much heel heat, and she's done nothing other than look. And to be honest with you, I guarantee you 90% of it is just how damn pretty she is. She's hot. She has like this fire red hair, pretty face, pretty body, all that good stuff. And I guarantee you, like 90% of that heat. Who cares how good or bad she does in the ring? You could hide that. Come on.
No, I disagree with you. She's getting she's getting she's the female Roman Reigns. That's the heat she's getting.
No, you can't.
She got the
terrible,
internet.
bro.
The internet got whiff. The internet got whiff that someone wanted to shoot her to the top, and she botched a couple of moves, and that was it. She's done.
She's too beautiful.
Whatever.
Have you heard the women's cheers for Roman?
She gets the pop. You know, I'm going to dedicate the dedicated pop of the week. The dedicated. That's who gets the pop of the week for me.
Was Eva Marie?
She doesn't care. She doesn't care.
Oh,
I'm gonna give her this right here. You ready? Listen.
It's all about that money, yo.
She gets the old reggae horn. That's what she's getting. She gets the reggae horn for this week. Yeah. That's what she's getting.
I will give her props, man. She's getting better. She's getting better in the ring, man. She's taking it more seriously. So.
But let me ask you, she's embracing the heel role, right?
She is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. By far.
So they're doing the right thing. So
Yeah. You're right.
Basically, if you're getting pissed off at her, then she's doing her job.
She's doing her job. That's right.
Yep. So all right, pick a show. Raw or SmackDown? Which one is just to you overall better?
Oh man. God. I mean, Raw is definitely the better show. Hands down. Anyone that says it's not, they're crazy. They're lying to themselves. It is the better show, but I find more intrigue in SmackDown.
Drew?
I haven't watched SmackDown, default Raw.
But they got Becky Lynch, yo, straight fire. That's my girl. I love her.
Sorry about that.
I might be in love with Becky Lynch. So I mean.
Yeah, dude, I watched her on Swerved, and on an episode of Swerved, she had like a blonde. I don't know if it was a wig or whatever, but
yeah, it was a wig.
Oh, yeah, she's pretty hot. Man, You know what? That brings me to a question I have. So I like Raw because I'm a Finn Balor mark, but Shelton Benjamin's coming back.
I told you what did I do? Didn't we just talk about this like 3 weeks ago during our draft?
You did, and you know what I thought about it is, it reminded me of an old episode of Monday Nitro, and when I saw Shelton Benjamin returning, all I thought was,
Are you fucking... Are you fucking nuts?
that's where the Nitro comes in. Y'all,
Oh yeah.
y'all aren't gonna remember this.
What, the Taskmaster or
Oh no,
the
that's Chucky.
Dungeon of Doom?
That's Chucky.
Oh,
There's
that's
an
Chucky.
episode
That's
of
right,
Nitro,
right.
and Hillbilly, you're gonna catch up on this. I know you're going through Raws right now, but you're gonna catch up to an old episode of Nitro where Rick Steiner is cutting a promo. He's being interviewed in the ring, and Chucky chimes in, pretty much joins the NWO, and Chucky tells him, "You effed up, you effed up, you effed up." And Chucky tells Rick Steiner to leave Scott Steiner alone, and calls him like a meathead or musclehead or whatever. So that was my reaction. That same laugh that Chucky gave, that Shelton Benjamin's coming back because his mic skills are absolutely horrible. Actually, hold on. Let me do this. Ready? This is my reaction, my official reaction. You ready?
Let's hear it.
All right, ready? Now, I know Shelton Benjamin. He's a good friend of mine. We grew up together. We grew up together in a rough neighborhood together. We even wrestled a little bit. Know his mother, his wife. He's got a good family. That man is atrocious. Shelton Benjamin is not good. I'll tell you what, he was good in the past, but as athletic as he is, there's 10 dudes on the roster who could do the same moves he can. Next subject.
Tell the chicken why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son.
That was my Bruce Lee impression. How did it come out?
It was
Solid,
wonderful.
solid.
It wasn't my
wonderful.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, of
It was
course
my
not.
Bruce Lee. Yeah, I was trying to talk like Bruce Lee.
That was good.
But no, seriously, like Shelton Benjamin's coming back, but what does he do these days that half the guys on the roster can't do or don't do?
He's I'm just gonna say it, man. I've seen his independent stuff. Amazing. So my hope, and I guess everyone's hope, is that this will be the bridge to bring Kurt Angle back, so that we can have a Team Angle versus American Alpha. Because that's what we want to see. They've been teasing it since NXT, so to me, I'm glad the Golden Standard is back, but I'm even more intrigued because this opens up the possibility of Kurt Angle coming back.
Do you keep seeing those rumors for him? What's the status on that? 'Cause his name keeps popping up everywhere.
So he's already said on a podcast or an interview, he said, "I'd love to come back, but I'm not coming back anytime soon." He flat out said it. Whether it's personally, I think it's the timing because of maybe the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar popping hot for drugs or steroids or whatever they had, so they don't want to bring in like a Kurt Angle or Jeff Hardy. Or
If he works part-time, he's going to get the bye like Brock did, because that was the excuse they used for Brock, was he's part-timer.
He doesn't even have to be a wrestler, does he? Can't he just be a manager?
He could, and I think that was
the wellness policy applies to the wellness applies to all talent, regardless if they're in the ring or not. The thing is, it doesn't apply to those who work part-time.
So Brock can stay as roided up as he wants.
Exactly.
Then he can go fight the untanned Randy Orton. That dude hasn't seen sun in 8 months or however long he was out.
Doesn't that boy live in Texas?
No. He probably lives in like
We all live in Texas, and I'm the whitest guy you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point taken. Point taken.
Yeah. So we went to NXT. Thursday night? I
Oh.
was uh,
Oh.
I was feeling pretty good. I had a good time after having 2 beers or more,
Made
and
the
I felt
newspaper.
yeah. If you check out my Twitter, yeah, I was in the paper, and at that point, I think that was beer number 1, hopefully. Oh, Drew, so a funny story. Hillbilly, we went to this bar. You've heard of the Esquire?
Yes.
So we went to this bar, and my friend Dabi Amore, who was a previous guest on our podcast, I think 1 or 2 episodes ago, you can go check him out. We made, and if you do check out the video, it's pretty funny because we actually made Dabi Amore drink a lot, like probably 3 glasses of straight rum.
Yep.
So he probably downed a good 25 ounces of rum during that podcast. But we all went to the bar, and this girl was at the front of the bar with a certified G shirt on, which we thought was awesome. She was there with her boyfriend. So Dabi Amore goes up, walks up to her, and says, "What are you drinking? A Bud Light?" I said, "How you doing? Mojito? How you doing? Margarita?" So we're going through the whole spiel, right? And she doesn't get it. She's there with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend says, No, my girl doesn't watch wrestling. I just bought her the shirt. It's pretty cool. She just doesn't get it, but it's because well, I've got one word to describe her, and I'm going to spell it out for you. SAWFT, soft. And by the time we were done saying soft, like we went through the whole promo, it was amazing. This hipster dude comes out and tells us, shut up and be quiet. There's families in this place at a bar. So we were like, yeah, pretty sure there's no families in here. And we closed out and left. But yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, we ran into some rando people outside the NXT place and the Enzo thing. But I digress. NXT thoughts, Sage.
Well, real quick, I want to go back real quick. Did the hipster guy who came up and shut you guys down, was he doing a Simon Gotch gimmick where he came up and like?
Yeah.
And then did he beat you up like he's beating up dudes backstage? Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah. Well, I punched him in the face like Sin Cara.
There you go.
I botched the punch and fell down and tore my shoulder up pretty bad.
I think the mask is cursed because like he gets injured all the
Oh my
time.
God, the curse of Sin Cara. The curse of Sin Cara, the Hillbilly Drew story. I want you to write a novel about your life and call it The Curse of Sin Cara. And just have his mask on the front of your book. When you sign
it's
books
like
at Barnes and Noble.
here's the throwback. It's like Kenny's parka in South Park. Just like it's a bad sign. But anyway, you asked Sage what his thoughts were. I wasn't in San Antonio with you boys. Let's get the thoughts from the Mark.
Yo, this is my first time seeing NXT. I absolutely fell in love with NXT. The only, and I said this at the top of the hour. The only thing is that my boy Ty Dillinger wasn't there. I bought a shirt because
That's a $30 shirt right there, isn't it?
It was definitely a $30 shirt, bro. But you know, like they say, bro. Numbers don't lie.
You didn't go up to him with the promo code?
You know, I should have, bro.
Cut the promo code on those guys selling shirts.
Shoot, I was having a hard time. The lady there that was I said I want to get that Ty Dillinger shirt. They got it in double X. Nah, we only have an XL. It's like, okay, then I'll get the one in XL. Which one is it? Like, dude, you're selling the merch and you don't know who Ty Dillinger is? Come on now. Anyhow, yeah, the matches were solid. The venue was perfect.
That was Aztec, right?
Yeah, the Aztec
Yeah.
Theater. Shout out to the Aztec Theater. Yeah, your free promo there. The thing that I loved the most outside of Shinsuke's intro was the match of Wesley Blake versus Cien Andrade. Cien comes out, obviously the face. Wesley Blake, beautiful Wesley Blake, as he's known. comes out as the heel. Yo, I'm pretty sure it was us. We turned CN heel right quick for our home for our hometown boy Wesley Blake. Yeah, so that it was awesome, man. Like, and kudos to CM for Manfred for making it happen because he was definitely not supposed to take the pin, and he took the pin, and it was great. So,
Oh
definitely a
yeah.
highlight. Yeah.
Moment of the night was it Bailey or Shinsuke? Shinsuke by far.
Yeah.
I wish I had a video of Dabi Amore dancing during Nakamura's entrance.
Yeah. Just like that. It was pretty close. The pop for Bailey was pretty loud. So that match was pretty good too. I absolutely love that match as well. So
Hmm.
and you can go onto our Twitter page, Real WrestleCast. We've got photos and videos of the event there too. So please be sure to check that out if anyone's watching ever. Um, and then the only thing I did enjoy, well, first off, I said this earlier, Daria. If
Oh,
you guys
future.
don't
Oh
know,
God.
yes, if you guys don't know who
Yes.
Daria is, you're in for a treat when she makes TV. Yeah, something special there, man. She's built like a UFC fighter, so I can hopefully she'll get drafted to SmackDown. I think that's where they'll need her once she. Well, I mean, she'll be in NXT
Where
for
she
2
can
years.
compete for not a title.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's a prize fighter for no title, bro. Um, did not like the fact that Shinsuke did not end the match, but I understand with that this Texas tour was mainly centered around Finn Balor, so I get that. So, but it was a great event. A lot of great people there. Ty, if you listen to this, or if your people are listening to this, anytime you come to Texas, bruh, you need to make it down to San Antonio. What about you, Goose? What'd you think about the Texas?
Don't remember any of it. Drew, what'd you think about Corpus?
So Corpus was a misnomer because we were in Robstown. And
Yes. Yes. I'm glad somebody finally says that.
the thing about it is that if you make it down to Corpus, you go through a couple of towns before you actually make it to Corpus, because you go through Cal Allen. Robstown is off to the right somewhere, and then you got Corpus near the end when you get to the ocean, and then you get to Flower Bluff, and you get on the bridge, and then you get to Mustang Island.
Mustang
What?
Island.
And then you get to Port Aransas.
What?
And then we get to Port Aransas is it.
How you
I'm
doing?
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get on the ferry and you get to Aransas Pass. What? You take a right. You get to Rockport. What? And then you get to Folsom. What? And I forget. I'm actually tapped out there. But anyway, so second NXT event. I went last year when you boys couldn't make it in San Antonio. Still Aztec. They packed the house there. I'm sure they did it this time. Ty Dillinger was there. Sorry, boys, he wasn't there this time. Nothing you can do. Last time went with my cousin and his 2 kids. Went with them again to Corpus. A little bit closer drive for them. And like kind of from that perspective, because like I mean, I can tell you as kind of just an adult wrestling fan, like what I like and what I don't like. But it's neat to kind of see it from like what the kids are seeing, especially because NXT is so like pure wrestling heavy. The kids love Finn. He's gonna be fine. He was.
Oh, by far.
What's that?
No, I agree. Finn's gonna get over huge. So, is Finn coming out as the demon at SummerSlam? Do we know, or?
I gotta believe that. Yeah, you gotta believe that he is. Seeing as though the SummerSlam is the second biggest event that they have, and the crowd largely doesn't know who Finn Balor is. So, it was smart of him to bring him to a smart city, but you're gonna take him to some places where people don't know who he is. It's going to be very tough. Now, once SummerSlam comes,
Whoa.
We're getting some technical difficulties by Ben Goose in here, bruh. Yeah,
Slam is in Brooklyn. Tell me, can you hear me all right? There we go.
Yeah, bruh.
There we go. Sorry, I went on like a huge tirade. I got really, really mad and I projected like an X-Men on my electromagnetic energy.
That's what you did.
So SummerSlam is in the Northeast. I think it's in Brooklyn.
It is in Brooklyn.
Those guys are definitely going to know who Finn Balor is.
Correct. We still got, what, 3 or 4 weeks
before? So do you think that WWE, something like that, it's definitely in August. Do you think WWE is waiting for the Demon to come out for SummerSlam, knowing it's a smart city? So he gets a huge pop and he gets over?
I mean, that's the smart thing to do. You can't debut the Demon on Raw. It would be a money waste. And if you're going to do something special with it, what better place to do it is on the pay-per-view. So I think he'll bring out the Demon.
Win the championship.
Yeah, to win the championship. And I think the key indicator will be, for us to know whether or not he's going to bring out the Demon, is if he references the Demon anytime up until SummerSlam.
Drew? Billy, what do you think?
I think, first off, when you talk about the Big Four, you get the biggest crowds, so you're going to have, especially in that area, you're going to have the most of the fans who are going to appreciate that. They're going to really know him. And I think it helps seeing that on a big stage for everybody else, because like you think of the post-WrestleMania Raws and how everyone wants to imitate that. I think it's going to help Finn. Just whatever big reaction he gets is going to help him. And like you said, you got 3 hours a week of Raw with a smaller roster. All you got to do is just showcase the man, and then just say like, "This is what I am. This is what I'm about." And he's, hint at this is the thing that he does, and maybe even in video packages. Show some of his big matches where he comes out like that, so there's the expectation. I think that's all you got to do. Just treat it seriously. Like that's all I ask of these guys is to treat it seriously.
Make good points, man. Good points. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the next couple of weeks. So, by you, Goose.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
But I'm excited either way. I'm definitely excited for what is to come with Finn Balor, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride. It's definitely a WrestleMania worthy match right there. Just curious if they're ever gonna do anything with the Bullet Club. But,
you got Finn with the club on there now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're gonna have to acknowledge the history. Like you can't not acknowledge it, especially when those guys are gunning for the tag championship.
Yep, I definitely agree with you. So,
I just hope that they don't do it like they did with AJ. I think they got to do something different. I don't know what.
I agree too.
They're smarter than me, so they got to do something different. I just don't know what.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You guys, you can hear me fine, right?
You're good,
Oh
bro.
yeah, you're clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, I completely agree. So we'll see how it goes. So we're running short on time. We're gonna wrap this thing up. But I got a sec. So watched Hillbilly. You've seen X-Men Apocalypse, right?
Negative.
All right. This question may not. No. This question will not.
Hold your horses. Hold your horses. This is my X-Men right here, bro. This is my X-Men.
This dude.
I'm one of those jerks. I'm one of those jerks who likes to read the book and be all smart ass about it.
Okay, then perfect. Then this will definitely apply to you. Sage, you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so when in what comics and what era We got to explain this in a nutshell because we're going to wrap this up. In X-Men Apocalypse, Hillbilly, I'll just spoil it for you. It's no twist or anything. They say it in the first, I don't know, 20 seconds of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse transfers his conscience into people over and over. So it's like, I always thought he was the firstborn mutant, therefore he was flawless and had pretty much every power known to man, and he was a genius pretty much because he's lived ever since the time pyramids were around. He's lived BC into today pretty much. So if you live that long in a position of power as a leader, you are going to be a genius. It's no secret. So is there anything in the comic Apocalypse?
You cut out for the second, so I didn't hear the question.
Oh no, sorry. Is there anywhere in the comics that talks about Apocalypse being a transfer of conscience rather than a physical being?
I'm going to move that to Sage. He's probably knows a little bit more about that than I do on that front.
Man, you know, bring out the history, man. I ain't no stat guy. Oop, don't want to get sued. No, I don't recall anything in the comics referring to a transfer of consciousness. That's always been kind of something that was synonymous with Phoenix and Xavier's storyline. But it's been like, I haven't read comic books in like 20 years, man.
Yeah, but you don't have to read them these days. You can keep up online.
Sure.
They're all available online, one way or the other. I mean, they're great to read. There's nothing better than having like a physical copy in your hand or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, but that was one gripe I had about the movie, is that I saw it and thought, okay, well, they're hyping it up the way it should be, that Apocalypse is the perfect mutant because he's awesome in the movie, but he's flawless pretty much. And then you realize, oh, all right, well, he's just been taking over all sorts of people's conscious mind or whatever. So yeah, kind of struck a nerve. Movie's fantastic though. Fantastic. Yeah, I give it a 2.6, which is good for me. No, I'm kidding. I give it a 9. It was great movies.
It's such a damn
Either which way.
bruh.
Speaking of good
No
movies
sold it.
and
No
good
selling.
things, let me know if anyone's going to watch this video at all. To all of our astounding 6 followers, I think we're up to 25 or something like that at this time.
28.
28. If you
Yeah.
do watch, help me out. If
Morning.
you're a comic book fan, let me know about the X-Men thing and hit me up at Ben_Goosen. And Sage, what's your Twitter?
Y'all can find me at Sage the Mark on Twitter and the Real Wrestling Cast as well.
Is there any underscores or anything?
Just all together at Sage.
Yeah, hit us up. Hit us up on either. My Twitter handle too, at Draymond Green. So check me out. And no, I'm kidding. Just go to at Ben_Goosen and Hillbilly. I don't think they have internet in the parts unknown.
You're gonna have to.
That's your thing.
You're gonna have to
That
get
is your jobber. Your jobber thing is from parts unknown.
Well,
Parts unknown.
you're gonna have to. If you want to communicate, just get yourself a carrier pigeon. Send it down to South Texas. Write yourself a note. Send it. I'm really bad at getting back to people. That's why I got fired. So, I mean, I may get back to you. I may not. What can I do? But I don't have much of a social media presence, and I like it that way. All right, that's how I do.
Yeah. Send the pigeon on over to the Hillbilly Drew lives. His sister works at the post office, who's conveniently also his aunt, so she could take care of the mail for you and make sure it gets directly so it gets directly to him.
Oh man, when we switch the gimmick up next time, that's going to be really confusing.
Terrible, bro. God damn.
All right, boys.
we're
out.
gonna do some new
Into the
video
show.
packages this week for Drew the Butcher.
There we go. All right, so we're gonna cut
Well,
this thing
if you
short.
enjoyed the show, please like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, appreciate the support, guys. This is your boy Sage the Mark, signing out.